So much excitement surrounding the Spotify rap that dropped in 2022, and this was my first year on Spotify, and I'm really surprised because I think generally the Spotify rap is like the report card for every music consumer, and yeah, so today I'll just be talking about my Spotify rap, and yeah, so my name is Postman, the guy who tries his best to deliver, and welcome to Post in the Diary Room, and so let's just get into it. So for my top artists of 2022, I have Nas at number one. Nas was my number one top artist of 2022, and according to Spotify, I was on his top 0.001% of his listeners, ranking about 6,000 minutes of Nas. So I think Nas for me has always been that guy, and I think generally you're always gonna grasp something from Nas's music. And I think even the ongoing trilogy with Hit Boy or the ongoing chemistry with Hit Boy is like really amazing to witness because he still just shows strength, and he just keeps going, and it's really amazing because the chemistry with Hit Boy is really something that's never been done. I think I even saw someone tweet the other day that Nas is like probably the first rapper to have another prime. So it's interesting to see what Nas is doing with the music right now because I think even with Nas, like something you always guaranteed with Nas is like great storytelling, and he's always gonna tell you like stories about his life, history, and like general things that matter to him essentially. And yeah, so even when you listen to Illmatic, Stillmatic, I Am, It Was Written, Godson, KD1, KD2, Magic, KD3 as well, I think, yeah, so I think Nas is always going to be that guy. And so, yeah, credit to Nas, man, which is not surprising to see him at number one. But I think it was surprising to see him battle with Tato Soul for my number one spot. But Tato Soul managed to get number two on my Spotify Wrapped, and even not surprising to see Tato Soul there because Tato Soul came into the fold in 2020 and with his debut album called Members Only. So I think Members Only is the project that sold me to Tato Soul, and ever since that day, I never looked back and I just kept listening to Tato Soul. And I think he's also a great artist and I think one of the best in South Africa right now. And with his recent body, Life is Gangsta, I think it's arguably the album of the year. And yeah, so Tato Soul, really not surprised to see him there. And then at number three, we have Drizzy Drake. I think Drake is like the most hard on artist, if that's a thing. I think Drake like received the most flack in the world. But essentially every time Spotify releases their stats, Drake is like usually number one, top streamed, top, day one. He's always breaking records on Spotify. So yeah, with number one we have Drake over like overall, on Spotify, like in the world. And yeah, so which is interesting to see because he's always getting the hate. And even honestly Nevermind got so much hate, but I think even honestly Nevermind was like a really decent body for me because I genuinely listen to uh honestly never mind when I'm in between sets at the gym, like in between sets at the gym, when I'm working out, when I'm just, busy doing something, and it's that project for me. So I found use for honestly never mind because essentially with like the first listen was really like but yeah, even Certified Lover Boy, I just genuinely feel like Certified Lover Boy was like a really decent album. And all my friends are always giving me flack for that, but I just feel like Certified Lover Boy was that album of 2021. But yeah, I think at number four I have Freddie Gibbs. Freddie Gibbs, I'll just be honest, I never listened to Freddie Gibbs before 2022 because I knew about Freddie Gibbs, but I just, I just didn't, it just didn't resonate with me. But I think one day I was just listening to music in my room, and then Spotify just does this thing of just playing you random songs, introducing you to random songs. And yeah, so one day God is Perfect just came along, and when I checked the artist, it was like Freddie Gibbs. And then I just went on to check on the overall body, and it was Alfredo. Alfredo is like a decent album. So I mean, pardon me, guys, pardon me for using the word decent a lot. It's like my first time doing this, but yeah, so for sure. Alfredo dropped, and then I listened to Alfredo, and then yeah, I mean, I was really amazed at like the project. And while I was still at that, he dropped Triple S Soul separately dropped this year, and I think it's arguably a contender for album of the year in like the global scale. Yeah, I think he's tied with JID, but I think JID might just take it. But yeah, Freddie Gibbs, not surprising to see him there, but quite surprising as well because I genuinely didn't listen to him that much over the years. But to see him there at number four is really amazing because I think he's above like my favorite artist in South Africa, which is AKA. At number five, we have AKA. So AKA for me, man, he's always gonna be that guy. But I think over the past few years, I think 2 years, 2020, 2021, he hasn't been, performing like at that level because the two bodies that dropped before Lemon's Lemonade were really like underwhelming. I think essentially Bovomania did have a few good joints, but it was just overall it was just not really a good project. And then the joint project with Costa Titch was really good, but yeah, it was just yeah okay, but you can't really compare it with the one he did with Anati. But yeah, so the past 2 years for AK have been shaky, but I'm glad he came back with Lemon's Lemonade because Lemon's Lemonade is like my top streamed song on my Spotify. So I played the song about 149 times, which is really crazy. But yeah, it's not really amazing. No, it's not really surprising to see AKA top one of the charts on my list because he's always gonna be that guy and I think arguably the best artist that South Africa has ever had. Yeah, I'm calling out Brenda Fassie. I'm calling out all the legends, but I think AK can generally stand firm against them. And yeah, so Lemons Lemonade, my top stream song for 2022. And yeah, number two for my top stream songs, I would just generally have a lot of Tato Soul. Tato Soul from 2 to 5. We have Mudimo Tlapeli, we have Pick It Up, we have Deep in the Mix. Yeah, we just have a lot of joints by Tato Soul, which is like also amazing because I think it also shows that I just generally don't skip albums because I'm not one to skip albums and I just listen to like the overall body and because I think judging an artist based on one song is just really not that good because you just don't know what the person has to offer overall, because sometimes the lead singles can be misleading. And yeah, so even with AKA, man, but come on, with AKA, it's like Lemon's Lemonade is like a smash hit, and not surprising to see him back on radio, doing his thing, Radio Killer. And then so I think that's about it for like my Spotify wrapped, and I think the most genres that I've listened to, like my top five genres that I listen to, because I genuinely listen to like a lot of artists. I listen to like I'm a piano, I'm a piano, I'm Afro pop if that's the thing. I listen to Afro pop, and I listen to I don't know, man. I just listen to a lot of things. But I think even according to Spotify, I listen to about 3,000 songs, which is like really crazy, and about 1,500 artists, and which is like really amazing. And my personality, according to Spotify, was like adventure or something like that. But it's really not surprising because I'm just someone who's always gonna discover different music, and yeah, so I'm a huge fan of music, and I just love the music that I always listen to. Because even this year, I listened to like rap, Afro pop, amapiano, and a bit of Afro soul, and a bit of R&B, for my sad days. So like generally, I just listen to like a lot of music, and I think to finish it off, to finish things off, I just want to get into my top five verses of the year. My top five verses of the year are. At number five, we have Aries, Bad Guy. So I think with Aries is really confusing because Aries is always like gonna be a perfect artist in my eyes because every song that he drops is always gonna be perfect because I mean you just never know. Like an EP may sound like an album, a mixtape may sound like an album. So I think generally Aries is like that guy. At number five, we have Aries, Bad Guy. I think the intro is really solid. And then at number four, we have Black Liz on the song with J Hood, Philosophy, alongside P.O. I think Black Liz came along on that joint, and even his voice, like his cadence, his flow, is really Yeah, that guy, and I think he deserves the fourth spot there. And then at number three, we have Tato Soul. So basically, Tato Soul on home and away games. So I just feel like Tato Soul genuinely bullied Tyson Sabateli on on the song home and away games. But Tyson more or less came back on the second verse, but it didn't really matter because that first verse was really amazing. And then at number two, I think this one is like, I think it's debatable because some people may say that Nasty C doesn't deserve to be at number two. He has verse of the year, but at number two, I have Nasty C. Nasty C has the second verse of the year for me with Lemon's Lemonade, and at number one, man, we have the guy, the guy, Madlera Doughboy. Madlera Doughboy has the verse of the year for me. Easy with that song on Never Ride, and I just feel like what he did there on Never Ride was really amazing. And yeah, so credit to Matlere Boy for that verse because everyone is still trying to rap that verse and everyone is just like more or less failing. But I know a few people who do know that verse, but I really don't know that verse. And yeah, so even if I tried it right now, it would be cringe. But so shout out to Matlere Boy for that verse because he really does deserve it. And yeah, so let's see what happens next. So Post in the Diary Room, thank you for tuning in. And my name is Postman, and I try my best to deliver. So, till the next one.